Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be just me talking. I was supposed to make a makeup video for this week, but I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna sit down and talk about Singapore instead and kind of talk about my first impressions, how it is living here, the differences between Singapore and Sweden and everything else that I'm used to, and just all that good stuff. I've got my tea, I've got my snacks here on the sides, and I'm ready. I'm just gonna sit and talk. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I thought for my own sake it feel good to just sit down and talk for a little bit, and maybe what I say might help someone else that maybe are planning to move to Singapore or just visit Singapore, whatever. I do want to apologize in advance if I offend anyone that's Singaporean or whatever, but everything I'm going to say in this video, they are my own opinions, my own thoughts, and how I see things here in Singapore. So yeah, without any further ado, let's sip that tea and get into the video. So I think I'm gonna start off with my expectations and my thoughts on Singapore before I moved here. So just to give you guys that doesn't know me a little bit of background, I have, ever since I was, I don't know, like 13, around that age, like 12, 13, I just wanted to move and leave Sweden and see new things. I absolutely love Sweden. I am so grateful for being a Swedish citizen and that I grew up in such a great country, because Sweden is a really good country with a lot of things. But I guess, I don't know, I've always felt like I want more. I want to explore and see new things and get to know new cultures and meet new people and just see new things. And that's something I've wanted to do for such a long time. And I was so excited to graduate high school and finally be able to do something that I truly love and been wanting to do for such a long time, and that is travel and see new things. So the plan at first, so my plan for quite a long time actually was that I was gonna move to Stockholm after my graduation and work for about 1 and 2 years and save up some money, but I kind of changed my mind when I started my last year of high school. I don't know, I guess I kind of thought, you know what, whatever, like, what am I waiting for? I have no real reason to wait, except for, I guess, I'd have more saved money. But then again, I always believe that there's a way for everything, so that didn't worry me that much. So honestly, I went to Google and I literally typed in what to do after graduation. And I found a website called Studin. It's a Swedish, I don't really know what you call it, but basically they help Swedish students to study abroad, become an international student, pretty much. I am pretty sure they have volunteering and stuff like that as well. But yeah, anyway, so I asked them for help. I called them and I was like, so I don't really know what I want to do, but I know I want to become an international student. I want to get out of Sweden. I want to see something new. I want to experience new cultures and all that stuff. So we talked a little bit and we discussed my interests, what would fit me, and so on. And then we found Curtin University, which is the university that I go to right now, and we found that they had a bachelor in mass communication, which I feel fit me very well. I absolutely love what I'm doing right now. Is about 6 months before my graduation, I applied for everything, and everything just went pretty fast from the moment I got the idea of moving to Singapore to it actually happening, you know. So I was really excited the last few months before my graduation and before I moved and everything. I was so excited and I was so happy, and I felt so grateful for being able to do this and to actually move out of Sweden, and just move to a new country and see something new. I also had the chance to visit Singapore for 3 days around New Year, because I was in Thailand with my family, so I decided, why not? I'm just gonna book a trip and go to Singapore, because the idea from the beginning actually was that me and a friend, we were gonna go to Malaysia and then Singapore, but then plans changed, so we never ended up doing that. So I just decided to go there alone, and that is honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made. Traveling alone is one of the best things I've ever done, to be honest. I absolutely loved it. And my first impressions, like my very first impressions of Singapore during those 3 days was that, wow, I'm gonna live here. This is gonna be so great. This is gonna be amazing. And I was just so in love. I fell in love with the city right away. That it was definitely love at first sight. I loved it. And then I went back to Sweden, and I just did my very last semester of high school. I worked really hard, and I mean, it paid off. I graduated with good grades. I got into this university I'm in right now, and only about a week and a half after high school, I moved to Singapore. And it was like a dream. It was as if it wasn't real. It was just, I don't know, I feel like for the first month I still felt like I was on vacation, and that I was gonna go home to Sweden in like a week. But then again, like now 2 months later, I'm like, shit, I actually live here. And so anyways, when I first got here, I was staying at a hotel, because obviously I had no accommodation ready for me except for the hotel. Like I had no apartment or nothing, so I had to kind of start from scratch. And finding a room in Singapore is pretty easy. It's really easy, actually. It just depends on how picky you are, where you want to stay, and whatever. And here comes the first thing that I wish I had known before I got here, and I really do wish that I had, just taken a minute and think about it before deciding, because as you guys probably understood by now, I lived at home for my whole life until I moved here. So this is the first time I ever moved out and ever lived away from home. So this is my first, this room is my very first own room that I pay for myself. I pay the rent, all of that stuff. So one thing I wish I had done, or wish someone had told me, is to just, make sure that you check all the rules that your landlord has for you. Because that's actually something that's been bugging me for a while. It's a lot better now. Like, don't get me wrong, my roommates they're okay, they're great, they're not bad roommates or anything like that. My agent, she's really nice. She helped me so much, and I'm so grateful for that, because without her, I don't know, man, I would have struggled a lot more than what I've done. But yeah, that's definitely something I wish I just sat back and just took a moment to think before I decided, because I came here and I saw this room and I was like, oh my gosh, I need this right now. So I basically just said yes right there and then, without really giving it a second thought. But then again, it's nothing I regret. I mean, you live and you learn. It's not like the worst thing. And when I say the rules, like some rules that are pretty common is that no visitors, you can't cook, because the rules I live under now is that I can't have any visitors, which kind of bugs me because I can't bring any friends over. I can't really, like, they barely want my parents to come, which I'm not very happy with, to be honest. And then I have like limited uses of the wash machine. Like I can only wash like 2 times a week, like 2 machines, or no, how do you say that? Like use the machine 2 times a week. And I'm used to using the machine like 4 or 5 times a week, like dividing into like, you know, different colors and whatever, because I'm so picky with that. Like I don't want to wash anything and then ruin my clothes. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, those are just small things, I guess. It isn't really anything I regret that much, but it's just a tip for anyone moving here to take a moment, think of it. Is it worth it? Can you actually go without having any visitors or bringing friends over or whatever? Just think of that. Just a tip. And now I want to talk about my impressions of Singapore as a country and the people living here. And I am so sorry if I offend anyone right now, but I have to say that I was very disappointed. Now I'm kind of used to it, and I'm kind of, you know, starting to, yeah, just get used to their lifestyle here. But in the beginning I was so disappointed, and there was actually a time where I kind of thought that, shit, what have I done? Like, why did I do this? And I think the reason to why I was kind of disappointed at first was because when I moved here, or before I moved here, I was kind of in this like dream bubble, and I was so excited, and I was genuinely just so happy that I got this opportunity. And when I got here, it was like reality just hit me, like, oh shit. It was like everything I thought Singapore was gonna be wasn't really it wasn't really like that, you know? First of all, one thing that really bothers me, like, still today, and it is something that's gonna bother me for a long time. I try to look past it, but personally I think it's really hard, and that is that people here are like, they keep to themselves so much. They are honestly rude, in my opinion. I used to think that Swedish people were rude, but compared to Sweden, I mean, Sweden is nothing. Like, Swedish people are, compared to Singaporeans, really nice. And what I mean when I say that Singaporeans are rude is that, you know, when you go to grocery stores and the cashier, usually, like, I'm so used to cashiers talking to me, like, kind of making a conversation, or at least smiling, or at least saying hi. But here, I mean, you're lucky if they even look at you, and it's not even a joke. And it doesn't really matter if you try to talk to them, because I've tried to ask them, like, hi, how are you, or to say hi, and I always make sure to say thank you so much, have a good day, before I leave. But they don't really give a shit about your existence, which it really bothered me in the beginning. Like, I'm kind of used to it now, but I still, like, it's not something I want to get used to, that people are rude, because I don't want to become rude myself, because I know that I have a tendency of, you know, like, if someone's rude to me, I have a tendency of responding in the same way, which I really try not to. I try to be nice, and I try to, you know, just be nice and smile. And even if they're rude to me, I'm still always going to try to be nice to them. And it's not a very good impression. Like, I'm sorry if anyone gets offended. I'm really sorry, but this is just my genuine thoughts. And it's the same thing with all the security guards and staff that works in my apartment complex, because it's like a big complex. So there are like a few blocks within the same, like, apartment complex. I don't know. I find they're really, really rude. They treated me pretty bad when I first moved in. I honestly did not like it here at all at first. But yeah, like I said, now I'm getting used to it. Now I don't really have to talk to them anymore because now I already have all my papers and cards and whatever. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me anymore. As someone who had this picture of Singapore being like the people being so nice and whatever, and then I moved here and then suddenly it turned out to be the opposite, I took that pretty hard because I don't know, I guess I thought I'd researched enough and I thought I thought I knew enough, but I guess I didn't, and that took a toll on me. Like, it really did. I've met a lot of nice people, don't get me wrong, alright? I've met so many nice people. There are like so many nice people out there that help me out so much, and I am forever grateful for that. Don't get me wrong on that one. But Singaporean as like people in general and just like the country, I was like, honestly, I was surprised and I was a little disappointed because it wasn't really what I had expected, and just also the lifestyle here obviously is very different from the lifestyle in Sweden, which I had expected, of course. Like, it's not like I moved here thinking, oh, it's gonna be exactly the same as in Sweden. Of course not. But I've found it's easier now, but I found it very, very, very hard to adapt to their lifestyle. Like, I can't even do that. Like, I'm not even trying anymore. I just try to find you know, like different foods that I eat around like supermarkets and stuff like that, and I just cook at home, and I just try to just live my regular lifestyle, even though it's hard sometimes. Especially in the beginning, I had a few breakdowns, and I just really felt like I don't know what I've done. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But then again, now 2 months later, do I regret coming here? No, I don't. I'm actually so happy that I chose to come here, because like I said, you live and you learn. You always do. Will I live in Singapore forever? No, definitely not. I have decided now that I am not going to do my bachelor here. I'm only going to do my diploma, which is 8 months, because I do trimester, so I don't have any breaks. That's why it's so fast, if anyone is wondering. But yeah, I decided to only do my diploma here. I'm gonna stay here until February, and like I said, I do not regret coming here at all. I'm happy that I came here, because I mean, I am getting to know a new culture. I am getting to know new people in a new country, and I have like the best opportunity right now to travel to other places in Asia, which I am definitely going to do before I move again. I'm definitely not going to take the time here for granted in any way. I'm going to travel, I'm going to get to know new people, I want to see new things, and I'm definitely going to do that too, because like I said, I'm so grateful for even having this opportunity to come here. I like my thoughts since I moved here. I know it might come across as negative, which I don't blame you if you think so. I'm just being honest with my opinions and what I think about Singapore. Because I think also one thing that I've realized is that I think I am more Swedish and more like westernized. Can you say that? English is not my first language, okay? Yeah, sorry, my camera just shut off for some reason. I don't know. But what I was saying was that I think I'm more Swedish than what I think I am, even though I like to think that I do have influences from other cultures, obviously, because my mom is from Thailand. But then again, I still grew up in Sweden. I grew up in a Western country with Western cultures, with Western norms and ways of thinking. I'm not in any way saying that those like norms or ways of thinking are the only right ones, or that it's like that Sweden and other Western countries are perfect, because they are not. They have big flaws, okay? I just wanna make that clear, that I'm not in any way saying that they're better. I'm just saying that it fits me better, and I can live a happy lifestyle better in that way. Right now, Singapore just doesn't fit me. Like, it's not. Oh man. Like, I can't work because I'm going to a private university, which means that all I have is the money I get from the Swedish government every month, which is not a lot in dollars. And that it's just not ideal for me to live here in 2 years. And also, I honestly don't think I'll be happy here in the long run. I think 8 months here will be more than enough for me. And after that, I don't know, I'll see where I go. I have a few places in mind, a few universities that I've been looking for. I can 100% say now that I am not going back to Europe. That is something I know now for sure. I don't want to go back there yet. I do not want to study there. I want to study either in Asia or Australia. So those are the places I've been like kind of looking at. So yeah, I guess these are my thoughts. I know that this video is pretty long. I apologize. Right, my camera shut off again because the memory was full, so I just had to replace the memory card. But what I was saying was that I understand that some people might find me negative and I guess rude for saying this. And that is not my intention, alright? This is just my honest opinions and thoughts of Singapore, like ever since I moved here. Singapore is great in so many ways, and I am not in any way try to make Singapore sound like a bad place, because it's not. It's a really, really good place, and it fits a lot of people, but it just doesn't fit me, like in the long run. I mean, I'm starting to get into it more now, and I'm getting into routines and, you know, with school and everything, and it's a lot better now. Like, I feel so much better now than what I did when I first got here, like a month ago. But yeah, I mean, I have definitely not explored the whole Singapore yet. I will definitely do that. And yeah, these are my thoughts in Singapore so far. Feel free to judge me for whatever. I honestly don't really care. These are my thoughts, these are my opinions, and yeah, I hope that this video wasn't too long and too boring. Next video will hopefully be a little more exciting than this one. I just felt like I wanted to sit down and just get it all out and talk, because that is one very important thing. But yeah, thank you for watching if you watched the whole way, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.